friends, welcome once again to the Mathematics Grade 7 program. In the previous lesson, we learned about decimal. We learned what is meant by a decimal number, the concept of place value, how to order and compare decimal numbers, how to perform addition, subtraction involving decimal numbers, and how to convert a fraction into a decimal number and the reverse process. So in today's lesson, we are going to focus on the remaining two arithmetic operations. That is, we are going to see how to multiply decimal numbers, how to divide decimal numbers, and also how to solve word problems involving decimal numbers. So let us start with multiplication of decimal numbers. We have different types of multiplication involving decimal numbers. The first one is multiplication of a decimal number by powers of 10. So let us consider this example. Calculate 2.35 times 10 and 0.00456 times 1000. We consider the first one, 2.35 times 10. So if I'm multiplying by a multiple of 10, I will have to move the decimal point to the number of zeros that you have in the multiple of 10. If we have two zeros, I will have to move the decimal point to 2 places to the right. If I have 3 zeros, I move the decimal point to 3 places to the right. So here, 10 has only 1 zero. So I have to move the decimal point to 1 place to the right. So the answer is 23.5. The next one, 0.00456 times 1000. So here I have 3 zeros. This means I will have to move the decimal point to 3 places to the right. 1, 2, and 3. So the answer is going to be 4.56. Now, the second type, if I have to multiply a decimal number by a whole number. Let us consider this example. Calculate 0.18 times 30. So, 30 can be expressed as 3 times 10. I try to express the second digit 30 in terms of a multiple of 10 if it is possible. So now I have 0.18 times 10. And in the previous example, we learned that if I have to multiply by 10, I move the decimal point to 1 place to the right. So I get 1.8 times 3, which gives me 5.4. The next type, multiplication of a decimal number by another decimal number. So 3.6 times 5.4. We have two different methods of calculating this problem. Let us look at the first method. So 3.6 can in fact be written as 3 plus 0.6, and 5.4 can be written as 5 plus 0.4. So let us look at this table. I have broken the 3 plus 0.6 into two parts, 3, 0.6. The same has been done for 5 and 0.4. So you can see that we have multiplied 5 times 3, 15. 5 times 0.6, which is 3. And then 0.4 times 3, which is 1.2, and 0.4 times 0.6, which is 0.24. So now, to find the value of 3.6 times 5.4, I just need to add the 4 values obtained in the table. That is, this is equal to 15 plus 3 plus 1.2 plus 0.24. And in the previous lesson, we had already learned how to add decimal numbers. So the answer is 19.44. We now look at the second method. So instead of multiplying 3.6 by 5.4, what I do, I try to convert the decimal number into a whole number. So I multiply 3.6 by 10 to get 36. And I multiply 5.4 by 10 to get 54. So now I just have to multiply 36 by 54. So 36 by 54, I multiply it here and I obtain 1944. Now remember, we have multiplied these two numbers by 10 twice. So I have to divide my answer by 100 because I multiplied by 10 twice. So the answer is going to be 1944 divided by 100. And we have already learned how to proceed with division involving multiples of 10. So I get 19.44. We now move on to division of decimal numbers. So division of decimal numbers, again we have different types. The first one, division of a decimal number by powers of 10. Let us look at an example. So calculate part A, 385.7 divided by 100, and part B, 7,251.4 divided by 1,000. So let us have a look at the solution. For the first one, 385.7 divided by 100. If you look at 100, you can see that we have two zeros. So for division, I will have to move the decimal point to two places to the left. And the answer is going to be 3.857. Now we consider the second part. Here I have to divide by 1,000. So I have three zeros. This means I will have to move my decimal point to three places to the left. So the answer is 7.2514. We now move to the second type, that is division of a decimal number by a whole number. Let us consider this example. Calculate 2.4 divided by 6. So we have two methods. Method 1, where I have to divide 2.4 divided by 6. So 2 divided by 6, I cannot. 0, I put the 2 here. 24 divided by 6, 4. The decimal point will be just under the decimal point. The second method, 2.4, is in fact 24 over 10. So 24 over 10 divided by 6. Now you have learned in fractions division of fractions. So here, instead of dividing by 6, I have to multiply by 1 over 6. And then I simplify and I get 4 over 10. And 4 over 10 can be written as 0.4. You can see that both methods gives you 0.4. It is up to you to decide which method you want to use. We now move on to the third type. Division of a decimal number by another decimal number. So let us see. Calculate 6.8 divided by 0.4. So 6.8 divided by 0.4, I move the decimal point to one place to the right, both in the numerator and in the denominator. Why do I do this? To avoid division by a decimal number. That is, in the denominator, I had 0.4. So I had only one digit after the decimal point. To overcome the problem of dividing by a decimal number, to be able to divide by a whole number, I move a decimal point in the denominator to one place to the right. And I do exactly the same in the numerator. So I get 68 divided by 4, which is 17. We have looked at the different types of division problems involving decimal numbers. So we now move on to word problems involving decimals. Let us consider this word problem. Abhi has 100 rupees and buys 6 pencils. If each pencil costs 12 rupees 40, find the amount of money he has left after buying the 6 pencils. So let us have a look at the solution. If one pencil costs 12 rupees 40, now 6 pencils will cost 12 rupees 40 times 6, which gives us 74 rupees 40. So the amount of change that Abhi will have will be 100 rupees minus 74.40 rupees. And this gives us 25.60 rupees. So after buying 6 pencils, Abhi, who had initially 100 rupees, now has 25 rupees 60. So here are some questions for you to practice on multiplication and division involving decimal numbers, and also on word problems involving decimal numbers. We have reached the end of our program. I hope that you will now be able to work with decimal numbers, be it addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, as well as converting fractions into decimals or decimals into fractions. Until then, see you next time.